What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode and the revival of the ThoseMovieDudes podcast. It's good to be here. It's good to be here, everybody. We're doing this podcast. We've been doing it for, I think, 4 years now. I mean, just about. I actually have it on my resume, and it's coming up on 4 years as professional podcast producer. So, I'm glad to say I think it did help get me my job, but. Yeah, with this new show, you can still find us on all the major platforms, podcast or Apple Podcast, Spotify, but now you're going to be able to find us on places like YouTube and Twitch. All our social medias will be in that description. But if you are listening, make sure to head over to YouTube if you do want to watch the show as opposed to listen to it. You can do that right now as you're listening to it. But basically, it's going to be similar to what we did before. We're kind of going to combine the various segments, the various shows that we've done in the past. We're going to be talking movie news, new releases, first-time watches, and we're doing a little mainstream boy trivia as well, which I'm very much looking forward to. Also, I think that our goal ultimately is going to be getting the audience involved as much as possible. And in order to do that, first off, make sure to like, comment, subscribe on all those platforms. You can follow us at ThoseMovieDudes on Instagram, TikTok, X, YouTube, and Twitch. And you can go ahead and send us DMs on Instagram if you have questions, or this is a new thing you can do. You can send us a voice message by clicking the link in our bio on Instagram, and we can go ahead and play that on the show in a Q&A segment. So, yeah, that's a lot. Got all the... what is that called? What do you call that? Housekeeping out of the way. So I think it's a matter of fact time to introduce the other dudes. It's not just me here. There's 2 other dudes on this show, and that's going to be my man, Lil Ducky, and Lil Debbie. Here you go. What's up?
Oh, shit.
Quack, quack.
Lil
Quack,
Debbie.
Took 3.5 years, but now we finally have video.
I know. Holy shit. It's wild.
Wow.
In 3 minutes. Come on. That sounded like I'd done that before. No. First
No,
time.
a little half-assed. I mean,
you'll get there. There
a lot of energy, but it's okay. You know,
could have had some more enthusiasm.
To be fair, I had more energy early on, and now I'm dragging a little bit. I just watched Wild Things, so that might be a reason behind it. But yeah, what's up? How's everybody doing today? Glad to be back. Anything you want to get off your chest before we get started?
I'm dying on the inside.
I'm so used to that silence. Whenever I ask questions about somebody, they're just like, who is this guy? Why am I spending time talking to this asshole? That's what I feel like all the time. So
pretty much. No, I'm just looking forward to start talking about some movies again. Looking forward to all these like different segments where we can talk about movies we've never seen before with the first time watches, talk about the new releases, all the movies we've seen in theaters and all that. And it gives the audience an opportunity to check out these movies as well. And maybe have a discussion with us, because now that we have video and we're on YouTube, you can leave comments, all that fun stuff. So I'm looking forward to this kind of new chapter. So
hell yeah, it's gonna be fun. Hopefully this isn't the first and last time we do this. Hopefully we can keep it going. I know we actually have a genuine investment in this platform. So yeah, but fuck it, Nate. Anything you want to get off your chest, or should we get into some movie news?
I have kidney stones right now.
All right.
I don't know if that goes along with what we're talking about here, but yeah, I'm pumped. I love this interface. It's so cool. I can get all up in the camera and people can see me. Yeah, hi.
Did it just do that automatically, or did Spencer do? Okay, I was like, wait a minute.
I was gonna say, I'm like, did I just like automatically do that? Yeah, no, I'm pumped. And this whole interface and people being able to see us instead of just the picture of me and Kane Hodder on our Instagram. Like the one photo of any of our faces on any.
Oh yeah, or John standing with like my broken TV that he smashed after a MasterChef Junior episode.
Hey, that
his appearance on the Instagram.
Yeah. I stand by that decision. Not hitting the TV, but
I was gonna say, I'm like, wait a minute,
Grayson losing.
You should stand by that because you had to buy a new TV.
How is that new TV, by the way? Still holding up?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's gorgeous. The 4K looks amazing when I do play a 4K movie. But yeah, no, I love it. And it was a price match of the 4K TV that you smashed. So I appreciate it.
You went from Vizio to Samsung and you had to do nothing except help me get into your car. So, I think that's a win. That's a win in my book. But Cool. Glad to be finally catching up with you guys. Let's go ahead and talk some movie news.
Okay.
This is movie news.
Who is that?
If you like,
I think it's Pete.
If you like that sound as much as I do, you can go ahead and email Peter at peterkrinsky@gmail.com. He will be happy to maybe do some sounds for you. I think he wants work. So he might take 3 weeks to respond and he might not do it, but it's worth reaching out, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, it'll get done eventually for sure.
Can we listen to that again?
He'll send it to you in like 1,000 different links on Google Drive, but yeah.
Yeah, you might get it and you might be happy with it, but let's listen. It's so good.
This is movie news.
I love it.
All right, Pete.
Great.
Pistol Pete on the beat. We'll take it.
I love it. Nate, take it away. Let's talk some movie news.
Oh God, I forgot how bad this camera makes me look. Okay. Yeah, so
it's not the camera. Oh shit.
You want me to do this segment, John?
I would appreciate it. Yeah.
Do you want me to talk about the news?
Yeah, preferably. Yeah, I want to get it out of the way. We have a lot of other segments I'd rather be doing right now, but here we are doing movie news when there isn't really any movie news. So
yeah, so fuck the strike. I'm not about that shit. So I figured I'd just talk about what seems to be the biggest movie ever in the world right now is frickin' Barbie. I would have never thought a Barbie movie would be making the money it's making, the waves through all of pop culture. I have like 70, 80-year-old women at the store that I work at that will talk to each other about going to see Barbie. Like, it is a cultural phenomenon, and I am just impressed that it broke $500 million in the United States. Like, what?
It's a lot.
That's unbelievable.
Big chunk of change right there.
It's already made $1 billion worldwide. So I mean, that's unbelievable. But it was crazy because when Barbie and Oppenheimer were coming out that weekend, I looked at tickets on that Monday, and I was already planning to go see Barbie with my girlfriend. Like, that was already going to be set in stone. Like, Barbie's first, then we'll go and see Oppenheimer at some point. And then I was looking at the theaters, and it was Thursday night at all the screenings around me. All of them were sold out. And I was like, holy shit, this is going to be like a fucking movement here. Okay, this is interesting. And then I looked at Friday, found a perfect seat like for Friday evening. And then I went to the theater and I told Brooke, I'm like, you probably should wear pink. I bet people are going to wear pink. I don't know. I had no idea. And it showed up, of course, the whole movie theaters. Everybody's wearing pink. It was fucking hilarious. I just had no idea that like so many people were on board. The way, I mean, the movie just had genius marketing. It had amazing casting. You had Greta Gerwig behind it. I mean, we'll get into the review and our thoughts of the movie later in this episode, but just the fact that, like, I mean, like, this was so easily like marketable for like the general audience. So I mean, it makes sense that it's making all the money, and the fact that it's a critical hit, it's an audience hit. I mean, there's no wonder it has legs and people are going repeat times and everything. I mean, John has it in his this text has seen Barbie 3 times in theaters. And so, I mean,
and I hesitate to say, like, am I proud of that? I don't know, because like I saw it initially with my mom. Like, I planned on going to see it with her. Of course. I mean, my mother, which we did. We actually didn't dress up in pink because we thought of it very last minute, although we knew it was a thing. And then 2 days later we went with my dad and Jokey and saw it. And that was the showing where I had some really annoying teenagers in front of me, and I actually kicked one in the back of the head by accident. Like, it was a genuine accident, but I'm not gonna lie, it felt so good. It felt so good. But yeah, Barbie, over $1 billion. It's still below the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which is crazy to me.
Yeah. So it's the first live action movie to hit $1 billion in 2023. Technically,
who thought that 2 movies about video games and a toy would be 1 and 2 on the year? It's just, that's the world we live in now, I guess.
And then you look at the movies like The Flash and Indiana Jones: Dial of Destiny, and just how they bombed at the box office. No one saw. I mean, I didn't go see them in theaters. I was part of the reason.
I mean, I did, but I'm mainstream boy, so it's
I'm not
a really good example. Yeah.
So Nate and I have to be selective when it comes to our movie. I mean, Nate has to drive like an hour to go see a movie in theaters based on his location. So I mean, it's selective these days. But luckily, the last couple of weeks, there's been some really good movies, and I'm excited to talk about what we have seen later in this episode. But yeah, I mean, congrats to Barbie. I think it's going to make even more money. They're going to do like re-releases, I'm sure, and I think it's going to go on to probably get a handful of Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, Director. I think it's going to get some of the big ones too. I mean, the technical ones are obvious, but yeah.
Well, we'll get into Oscar for the best movie with pink paint on the background. You got Barbie, and Greta Gerwig. She's getting there. Like, she's just was able to pull this off, and it's able to cross every spectrum, like on the age chart. You got little kids going, you've got guys like us going that watch because they love movies, but then you have like the adolescents who love Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling with his own song, and just
Dua Lipa, John Cena's in it. I mean, like, there's so many draws to get you in that door.
And the marketing was pitch perfect, like the trailers and getting you to go see a movie. I mean, that's the whole thing, is you need a reason to leave your house and go and see a movie. And it's just so funny that Oppenheimer, a new Christopher Nolan film, and Barbie by Greta Gerwig are the two movies that are like going to just bring back the business. But hey, can't complain. So
yeah, well, cool. Yeah, so we're going to put that on the back burner. We'll definitely get back to Barbie here in a second, but we're going to go on to a new segment here. First time watches.
First time watches, are you watching with us? We're those movie dudes, and we about to discuss another movie that we've never seen. So grab some popcorn and pull up a seat.
Oh boy, here we go.
That one slaps. I don't know my favorite one yet, not gonna lie, but that
one's pretty nice. I like
it's not bad. Grab some popcorn and something. Yeah,
I think that has the best flow for sure. I mean,
grab some popcorn and whatever else you like. Okay, go.
If I made it, I'd be like, we're watching movies.
It would be snow caps and a nice cold cherry Coke.
We could bring that one back.
Do you have any graphics to add to the screen at all, or no?
I in fact do, Spencer. Thank you so much for reminding me.
Oh god.
We're gonna go ahead and add that to the stream.
Hey, that's
Here
us.
We go, everybody. Those movie dudes.
Oh, that is not us.
Wild things.
And for some reason, I don't know why. Who chose this thing? Because we chose this movie weeks ago.
Weeks ago. Well, okay. So if anybody is familiar with our podcast, like from the very beginning, this used to be our bread and butter. I mean, this was what our podcast was based around. It was movies that we had never seen before, and this new segment is going to be our chance to kind of go back to the old roots. And I picked Wild Things because, I mean, this goes back to like the movie gallery and Blockbuster days, where I was just like browsing around the aisles and I would look at the poster and just see these two beautiful women just playing crocodile in the water. And then you have Kevin Bacon and Matt Dillon in their like tight t-shirts down below. So I'm just like, okay, at some point in my life, I'm going to watch this movie and maybe we'll make a podcast on it. Who knows? But I'm just glad we finally had the opportunity to watch Wild Things. I had never seen it before, obviously. And you guys, do you guys know anything about this movie before we watched it? Had you seen it before? I mean,
dude, absolutely nothing other than the fact that the people who made the poster hate capital letters.
Okay.
And other than that, Denise Richards, right? From Undercover Brother. She played White She-Devil. I'm glad I got to mention that tonight. But I just know that she was kind of like the Hollywood heartthrob of the time. I don't even know who Neve Campbell is.
I'm about to school you.
Neve Campbell?
Neve Campbell. No, please enlighten me.
Scream.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
She's
that's
Sidney
why I
Prescott,
recognize.
Man.
Oh. That's why. See, Nate, that's why we have you here. And then Kevin Bacon. All I knew was we were going to see his penis. So
that is true. Yes, we do see some Kevin Bacon penis in this movie.
I forgot about it until
it's like 2 frames. But
I saw it. I'm like,
why,
oh yeah.
Well, the funny part is, if you read some of the trivia behind the scenes, like he didn't even realize that his penis was visible in the shot. He thought that it was blocked off by Matt Dillon standing there, but the director moved the camera just a little bit over and surprised him when they watched the dailies. But yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
Is that true?
I think Kevin Bacon had it in his contract. Like he had a nudity clause where like he was not allowed to do any nudity. So
Denise Richards did too. I can't imagine how pissed she was.
Well,
yeah, I
thought it wasn't on frame. I thought it wasn't on camera.
No, she was on frame, all right. Oh my, her frame.
Yeah, but like I didn't know much about the story. I just saw the poster. I knew it was kind of like a cult classic. I mean, just a little info about the movie. It does have a 6.6 on IMDb, 64% Rotten Tomatoes, so it's not a rotten film. I guess it just made north of $30 million at the box office. That's pretty. Not the best.
Not great. It's not
great. Compared to what happening now.
Number one grossing movie in 1998 was Armageddon. Okay, that has nothing to do with this movie.
It's a fun fact.
Cool.
I just want that'll set the stage, give you the vibe of what kind of time we're living in. You know.
But as we mentioned, it does have Kevin Bacon, Matt Dillon, Nev Campbell, Denise Richards, and Bill Murray as a lawyer. I was like, whoa, okay, did not expect that. And it's directed by a guy who really hasn't done anything else. So it's a strange little movie, but what I will say is that this movie did live up to its title because there's some wild things that happened in this movie.
It was wild. It's not The Wild Life.
Not The Wild Life, no.
No, that's a different film, but
Girls Gone Wild.
Get ready for The Wild Life.
Much closer to Girls Gone Wild if we had to compare the two. So yeah, I just finished watching this about 20 minutes ago. So it's very, very fresh in my mind. It's not what I expected. I'm not gonna lie. Looking at the poster, like Spencer said, it looks like they're two little crocodiles, and I think that's only in reference to the fact that this kind of takes place in South Florida around the Everglades, but that has hardly anything to do with the actual story of the movie. But God, bro, it had some twists. Had some twists in there.
It had many twists.
More than one. It was almost like you took one of those twisty things you put on a bag of bread and you keep twisting it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And you're like, can I get one more twist out of it? Yeah, I think I can. And then you keep twisting it. What in the hell is going on? Can this movie end?
Jeez, okay.
That's how it felt.
A little bit. I mean, I was having a pretty good time with this movie. And each twist that keeps getting thrown at you, I was just kind of rolling with it. I was like, okay, sure, why not?
1998.
Behind it too, fine, okay, great, whatever. And then Bill Murray as this like eccentric lawyer. I was kind of like, it was such a weird casting choice given this movie, but I was like, whatever. And I mean, Denise Richards, I mean, she just looked unbelievable.
If I could whistle, I would whistle right now.
But yeah, I mean, I had fun with this movie for sure, but it is just hot trash, but it's a good time. I mean, it's worth watching for sure. Nate, what did you think of this?
Oh yeah, go ahead, Nate.
Oh, it's just, I agree completely. Just because it's so campy, but it's so fun because there's so many twists to the point where, like, even though there was a couple of times where I'm like, oh, I wonder if this person's involved or if he has anything to do with this. And then when stuff gets revealed, even though I kind of saw it coming, it was still enjoyable because these characters are so wacky. Like Nev Campbell and her red hair, and Bill Murray is just the most just obscure lawyer that you would want, and yet he's awesome, and he wins. And it gets to that point in the movie where I'm thinking, oh, this could be like a big climax for it, and then we're only like 30-40 minutes in. We still have a whole hour of movie left after that. And so I was like, all right, bring it on. They got to get into the pool at some point, so I might as well just stick around.
There were some twists in this movie, like as I mentioned, that it turned into a movie that I didn't think it was trying to be. And the title just resonates because after that trial, it turns into a completely different film. People start dying, and there's lots of sex scenes,
each other, and yeah,
it's fuck the mom, I guess. But like, to be fair, she's a rich white lady that's just trying to take over the town. It was almost like Pretty Little Lies there. I mean, like, there was nobody likable in the movie either, except maybe the female cop. but for some reason she also wanted to fuck Kevin Bacon. Or no, Matt Dillon. Like
Matt
everyone wanted to
Dillon,
fuck Matt Dillon. Like the music,
even
the
Kevin Bacon.
twangy, yeah, even Kevin Bacon, and we had his penis in front of him. It was insane. It's just the 90s twangy, like sexual music, just from the opening, like cityscape shots. It just doesn't stop. And I like maybe even I wanted to fuck Matt Dillon. I don't know, but like that's kind of what the movie made me. It was trying to make me think that. But I mean, he's a handsome fella, but I think he skipped leg day.
Matt Dillon?
Yeah, he has some skinny legs when he walks up to that to the little cabin where Kevin Bacon's taking a shower. I think
but isn't he also
like
in a while? 6'3", 6'4", so like he's tall.
So it's more proportionate, but it's like
Matt Dillon was like the shit in the 90s though, or in like the 80s
was Denise
too.
Richards.
He was in
like
so many movies. Rumblefish, The Outsiders.
The director of this film hasn't done anything notable, though. Director John McNaughton, one episode of Without a Trace in 2003. You remember that show?
Good for him.
Nope.
No, it was like a CSI missing person show. Yeah, that was a while ago. 2003, man. Yeah. Wild Things.
And Denise Richards is like the epitome of the title Wild Things, because from the very beginning, she's like a predator. Like, I'm going to get this teacher. I love this teacher. I'm going to get him to spend time with me. And he's just like, yeah, that's probably not a good idea. I'm just going to hang out with my hot girlfriend and you guys can wash my car. Like, just so many weird things thrown in there. Exactly. Yeah. Just so many weird factors thrown in there just to get all of them involved.
I love the scene. Speaking of sailing, the scene when Matt Dillon is with that kid and they're docking the boat, and the kid's like, "Oh man, I want to get on that yacht." He's like, "That's not a boat. That's a boat."
Yeah, it's a sailboat. Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh my god, I already hate you so much." But I mean, it's kind of true. I just watched Last Voyage of the Demeter. That's a nice boat. I'm not gonna. I would want a sailboat too. So
yeah, sailboats are like, after I went sailing with Spencer and them, I'm like, there's so much more to this, and I respect that.
You don't drive it, you sail it. You sail
like everything with the wenches, and you have to be mobile like most of the time, unless you're just like cruising along. But
you can easily go for a nice like leisurely cruising sail, and it's nice. It's cool.
Do you think that Neve Campbell
I'm gonna kill you.
Do you think she would have been able to sail that thing alone?
Oh yeah, Neve Campbell's
that's what the movie
savant.
I mean, she seemed pretty useless in this movie. I'm not gonna lie. Her character, just like her, she just didn't seem like she could really accomplish much in her life. So no,
does she?
Yeah, that was a big boat. That's like Solo doing the 4-person boat in Sea of Thieves.
Oh, that's possible though.
We're gonna have to patch that up with some wooden planks.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that's a deep cut. Yeah, I mean, this was just a fun, trashy, pulpy type of movie just to put on late at night on Hulu. That's exactly what I did, and I had myself a pretty good time. It's not the best movie by any means, but I can understand why it does have a cult following, and I'd give it a nice solid 3 out of 5. I enjoyed myself. Nate, what about you?
There's multiple reasons, specifically 2 reasons why I love this movie.
It is multiple,
but it's just it's that cheesy campiness of the 90s that I just really like. And hey, throw a twist on top of twist. I'll take a twist sandwich if I need to, because just seeing these very odd characters just chew up the scenery together, and just never know what's coming next. You never know who to trust. And they picked a good setting right by a swamp. Everything was just gritty and easy to hide a body and stuff like that. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 actually, because I had a lot of fun with it. And I'm up for Neve Campbell, man. Like, she stole my heart with Scream. Now I'll watch her in whatever she's in. And just looking at this poster, I'm like, she could kill me, and I would be happy about it.
Not appearing in the most recent Scream.
Good for her. she's standing up for herself, because I guess she felt like she was unfairly getting paid unfairly for her part in the series, and she didn't really need to be in it. She let this new crew, the core four, just let them carry on this franchise, and I think they've been doing a good job, because I love both of these last two Scream movies. Different but very wild. Wild things.
That's a good one.
But Nev Campbell, yes, love her.
All right, so 4 out of 5 from Nate, 3 out of 5 from me, and Mainstream Boy. What about you?
No push-ups today.
I don't think we're gonna be doing push-ups. 4 is a little steep for me. When did you ask this? When did you watch this? If you don't mind me asking, Nate.
I watched this weeks ago.
And 4 out of 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, considering I just finished this movie 30, 40 minutes ago, again, it's fresh in my mind. I think that I really was enjoying what was going on. It's such a frustrating thing to see somebody accused of sexual assault. Have you ever seen The Hunt? I know you guys have.
Mm-hmm. Hunt's a great
movie. That's the best way to go about that kind of subject matter in terms of just like the story itself. It's frustrating to watch a woman like do this. Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, that's what the vibes it was giving me in court. It was a good story, and then it just flips everything on its head and twist after twist after twist, and it was super entertaining. But like, come on, I mean, it's just a little bit ridiculous at the end of the day. But it redeems itself with Denise Richards and Nev Campbell just kind of putting it all out there, if you know what I mean, and Kevin Bacon especially. So, it's fun. I enjoyed myself. I made some HelloFresh. Put it down. Like,
throw in the HelloFresh.
Yeah. You got to do it. Yeah, sponsor, not a sponsor, but it's a 3 out of 5. It's fine. It's fine. Nothing more than that. Not gonna lie, it's a movie that I would watch again. I would.
It's a movie I might
rewatch. It's got rewatch value for sure.
Fun. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, that's Wild Things. That was the movie that I had picked for all of us to watch, but we now have to figure out who is going next. I already selected Nate to go. So Nate gave me his picks. Hopefully you guys have your phones nearby or Messenger loaded up here, because I am going to send the poll and we're going to vote live here. But Nate, do you want to introduce your picks? You have 3 choices here. We're going to vote on what movie we're going to be watching. We have 2 weeks to watch it. You guys at home, check out this movie as well. It's most likely on a streaming platform. Maybe you have to rent it. If not, maybe you've seen it. But we have 2 weeks to watch this movie. So, Nate, what are your 3 choices here?
So I will confirm these 3 films are all streaming. One is on HBO Max, and the other 2, I believe, are on Amazon Prime. But the first one is kind of a random one. I'd seen the poster on Amazon Prime. It's a post-apocalyptic movie called Tank Girl. It's very over the top 90s, like post-apocalyptic, and it takes place in 2022. So #relatable. Then the second one is a film called Lore, or you could pronounce it Lori because it's the name of the character in the movie. It's a World War II film about a group of kids who are abandoned by their parents at the end of World War II, and they have to survive their war-torn country. And the third movie is the one that I'm kind of most hoping for. It's the Brian. Yep. Were you not listening?
No.
There was 3 the first time as well, but that's okay.
Oh, it was.
Yeah. But let me in. The last movie is a Brian De Palma film called The Fury. It's almost like if you were to take Carrie, also by De Palma, and just pump it full of steroids and have multiple sidekicks in the movie. And it's got like Kirk Douglas, Amy Irving, John Cassavetes. So one of his lesser known, but one that I've been wanting to watch for a long time.
Okay. Well, toss that in the poll, and I'm happy to vote on said movies.
Okay. Poll is sent. I was going to try to screen capture, but my computer apparently lost the ability to screen capture. So, oh well.
Capture that screen.
All right. So
what in the fuck? Okay, see, how do we determine now?
I voted for Lore. John voted for Tank Girl, and Nate voted for the Fury. All right.
Does that mean I get to pick?
Yep,
because it's
a tiebreaker.
Come on. So I mean, it would be weird if he didn't pick the movie he voted for. No.
Well, it's whatever one he wants to have us watch.
Damn.
Well.
Well. You know what? Fuck it. We're watching The Fury. Brian De Palma's The Fury.
Right. Stick with your guns.
Watch The Fury next week. Here we go.
It's one that I've heard really good things about, and it's kind of got like a spy mystery aspect to it with some telekinetic powers. Yep, Kirk Douglas. And Amy Irving. She was also in Carrie. She played Sue Snell for those Carrie fans out there.
Brian De Palma, great director.
Hey, so I'll take it. I will take it.
Okay, so The Fury, is it on HBO Max?
Yep, it's on Max, and they just added it, so it should be there for a long time.
So there you go. That is the movie that we will be discussing in a couple of weeks. So go to Max, HBO Max. Fuck Max.
Yeah,
it's HBO Max. Okay, go to HBO Max and watch The Fury, directed by Brian De Palma. So cool. All right,
The Fury it is. And with that out of the way, let's move on to some new releases. Here we go.
Yes, the new releases. Yes, the new releases. Yes, the new releases.
And this is when everybody clicks off.
No, it was just Spencer going.
that was fun.
We should do one where it's just like totally a cappella, like we just sing it, and like there's no background music at all. We'll do it right now. All right, ready? No, all right, no. Oh, thank God, that's not a scenario that
we all take turns, but solo. Okay, you go first.
Go ahead.
I'm a Barbie. No, okay. So
hi Barbie.
Hi Ken. Good, but goddamn, guys, let's lots of good new releases. Not recently, but within the last couple weeks here. We're gonna start this off with the one and only Oppenheimer.
Ooh.
All right. Directed by Christopher Nolan, Dark Knight, Interstellar, Memento, The Prestige. We got the greatest actor of all time, Cillian Murphy, of course. Matt Damon, Florence Pugh, Emily Blunt, Jason Clarke, Robert Downey. It's made $578 million at the box office. I've anticipated this movie for a whole hell of a long time. You know, you get those teaser trailers where it's just fire and Hans Zimmer. Or is it Hans Zimmer? Is that other guy? It's the other guy.
It's Ludwig Göransson,
the one who did Dunkirk. Yeah. Right?
I don't know if he did Dunkirk, but he did
Tenet,
and he did The Mandalorian,
not my strong
Black Panther. Won an Oscar for it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Oppenheimer, man. I had tickets for this a month in advance. I got 5th row, IMAX, dead center for me and my mom. Again, just me and my mom, dude, going to movies. 3 hours long, packed theater. I mean, I have tickets again in another month from now at the 70 millimeter IMAX, which I'm really excited for. But
sick. Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if personally I'm going to notice that much of a difference. I feel like I won't.
Did you see it in IMAX?
Yeah, it was regular digital though. So,
but it was the IMAX.
Oh yeah, no, it was an IMAX screen. Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Which I could get tickets for Blue Beetle in IMAX if I really wanted to. But yeah, Nate, we've all seen Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
I want to know. I want to know your thoughts on Oppenheimer first.
Wow. Oppenheimer, I get confused. I've said Oppenheimer, I've said Oppenheimer. I don't really know what to say, but I do know what to say about the movie itself, and that it is freaking fantastic. Like the way that they're able to separate this weapon of mass destruction story and then the life of the person who helped create it, and just having Cillian Murphy just be the one holding it all together. You couldn't have picked a better person to play him. Just like stone-faced, can be emotional. He steals the show, and I'm just impressed with what Christopher Nolan was able to do. And there was a point during the movie where I was watching it and I almost saw it as a flaw. It felt like the whole movie was a 3-hour sequence, because there was a lot of times where there was like a soundtrack in the background or whatnot, and so it just felt like a whole sequence. And so I'm sitting there watching it going, oh, I don't know if I like how this is going. But then it went into the aftermath of the test run, and this character, what is it, Dr. Strauss, the Robert Downey Jr. character.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure if I was going to be into that whole storyline, but then when they really got into it, and he's in that little courtroom where they're all sitting in there talking about things that are happening, and Jason Clarke just happens to show up out of nowhere. Why he has to be in the movie?
He always seems to do that.
That's
kind of his thing. He's like, "Hey, I'm here." I'm like,
he's a good actor. Come on,
he is.
Come on.
He is. No,
Jason Clarke.
Come on, Jason Clarke.
Give him a chance.
Everett.
Jason Clarke.
Yeah, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. He's in it.
Yeah, it's not Joel Edgerton. It's Jason Clarke.
Jason. Yeah, he's a guy. He's an actor.
Yeah, it's not Joel Kinnaman.
Nope.
Jason Clarke. It's not Jai Courtney either. Okay, so just relax.
These are all just people, just dudes
they're
that
all
somehow get work.
It's not Sam Worthington either. Okay.
All right, you got to stop. Right, it's not
Vince
fair.
Vaughn?
It's not fair. Aw,
I like Vince Vaughn.
Sorry,
yeah, he has more range than any of those guys combined.
Yeah, okay.
But no, it's a 3-hour movie. It doesn't feel like a 3-hour movie just because you're so invested in this guy getting this job complete, but then also the aftermath of them blaming him and being like, oh, you wanted to do this. It's like, no, it was just a job. Like, I'm good at what I do, and this is the job I was brought here to do, so don't blame me for all this. And just the way they go about it, and the court scenes that are in black and white, I thought it just fit really well because it matched like the historical footage of the trial itself. But I can honestly say I really, really love this one. Like, I haven't seen many Nolan movies in theaters, but this is one you want to see. I will say, though, there were 3 times, I don't know if it was just the copy that the theater had or whatnot, but 3 times it just cut to black randomly in the middle of the movie and then resumed back where it was. I was like, the fuck?
That's
like,
weird. Yeah,
it was very weird, and it almost took me out of it, but I was so invested to the story, I was like, yeah, whatever. It was a split second. It doesn't bother me, but my OCD on the inside was burning.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. As movie dudes, that does drive me a little bit crazy.
But I took my time get into the theater to see Oppenheimer because I knew that the movie was going to be pretty dense. It was going to be pretty heavy, a lot of like quantum physics and just a lot of math and just fun stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll wait for the right moment. And plus the IMAX was sold out for 2 weeks in my area. I couldn't get a ticket. Like, I was like, holy shit. Like, a lot of people are going to see this movie. Good for a high budget biopic, because that usually doesn't make any money these days. So this movie is killing in the box office, but it's because you have Christopher Nolan behind it, and he is just, you know, that meme of like the guy, it's like not really a meme, but it's a photo of a guy who's like playing piano that's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
Sure.
He's going just like, sure. So you don't know what I'm saying?
What's the meme? I think of
he's playing a piano that's on fire.
This is Christopher Nolan behind the scenes directing Oppenheimer. Just like everything is so heightened. It's just so intense. Like, no matter what, like 5 minutes into this movie, it's edited and the music is playing like a fucking like trailer for the movie. It's just insane. This is Christopher Nolan literally directing the movie, just sitting there behind the monitors,
with
just
his
like,
IMAX
all right,
camera.
I know what I'm doing here, and I am making a fucking cinematic masterpiece here. It's just fucking crazy that he was able to achieve what he achieved with this movie, and I was blown away. And it was one of those movies where the editing was so fantastic, because you have monologues going on in different timelines, different periods, and it's all in one scene connecting to each other. And it's just like you have Strauss giving his monologue and back to like Oppenheimer and then Josh Hartnett, and I'm just like, wait, what the? So many people are talking right now. It's just like, okay, but it's all flowing, and it's just insane because the 3-hour runtime goes by really fast. I mean,
yeah,
it is long. You do feel it at times, but for the most part, it is just. I was just very impressed with what he was able to do, and it's fantastic. But I don't know how many times I could really go back and rewatch this without the IMAX theatrical format. Like, I don't know how well this plays watching it on my couch and on 4K in 6 months. Like, I don't know if I'll get the same experience out of it. So
yeah, it's one of those movies where it's like, do you really want to sit at home and watch Avatar again? It's not meant for that. Or
still
like
haven't
Top
even
Gun.
watched it.
I've watched. Oh, you haven't? Wait, what?
I still haven't even seen the new Avatar. Yeah, just because
don't-
I missed the IMAX, and I'm waiting for it to be like re-released on Earth Day with like 10 minutes of additional footage. I don't know.
That's great. Again,
Or
you guys have to pick and choose. I get it.
Footage.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Oppenheimer was kind of a mind-blowing experience. Like seeing it at IMAX, I'm very much looking forward to see it again. It'll be more than a month and a half after I saw it the original time, because I saw it opening night. But the way that Nolan was able to make 3 hours of mostly just people talking as fascinating and as riveting as he possibly could, it was incredible. Kind of spliced with the inner workings of how like Oppenheimer's mind was just kind of imploding almost as he was dealing with the existential dread and guilt of creating such a crazy invention that killed so many people. It's the movie is able to be like a biopic, a dark drama, and a horror movie at times, and just all of it weaved into one. It was pretty fascinating because Nolan has a way of he's one of those few directors that is able to kind of just jump around the timeline. Just that's how he makes his movies, and I love that because it makes you have to stay on your toes and be like, okay, wait, where are we right now? But the way that he did it with the IMAX, with the black and white, which I know he went to Kodak and was like, hey, fucking do this. And they had to like basically invent it again for him. I mean, he knows how to make an experience. And I think he's never recognized. Like, why does the Academy hate the guy? Like they get in all the technical Oscars, but this guy makes incredible films. Like
it's not that they hate him, it's just that he hasn't won yet. That's just the unfortunate
hasn't even
part.
been nominated.
He's been nominated for Best Director. He got Best Director for Dunkirk, and he's gotten some screenplay nominations. I think he got one for Inception. I think he got one for Memento. So I think he's been nominated 4 or 5 times, even Best Picture as a producer. So
still,
he just hasn't like won the Oscar and gone up there and made the speech yet. And I think Oppenheimer might be the movie that'll do
with all the hype.
I think this right now, this is the strongest contention for director. I think. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens the rest of the year. But this could be the movie that finally gets Christopher Nolan his like Best Director Oscar, because it's just so technically incredible. It's one of the most like technically perfect movies I've seen in a very long time, and the performances are amazing. I mean, just there's a lot to like about this movie. And it makes you think. It provoked a lot of discussion
that's saying
on the car ride home for sure. So I mean, it's a good movie. This whole cinematic experience of Barbenheimer was quite interesting to watch.
And oddly strange because they're both so, like you said, existential in different ways that really make you think. That both of those films do. But do you guys want to give some grades on this one before we move on to Barbie?
Sure.
I can do it since I'm already talking. It's a 4.5 out of 5 for me, just because I need that 70mm experience to fully give it that 5 out of 5. There's a lot of boardroom scenes. There's a lot going on, and a lot of sciencey stuff that I couldn't fully wrap my head around, so I need to see it one more time, and I can almost guarantee it's going to be a perfect film.
Nate, what about you?
I'm gonna beat John to it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 off the bat. Like
Yeah.
the fact that they were able to take this character, who, like, if you really look at him, he's neither a good guy or a bad guy. He just happened to be in this place at that time. And when Christopher Nolan is able to make me care about this person, but then in the second half of the movie realize, oh, what he helped create is something that's going to be exploited, and now he's going to suffer from it. So it's like you kind of root for him at one point, and then you realize, oh, weapon of mass destruction, probably not the best thing to get behind. But it's just, I had such a good time, and the score just felt like a constant heartbeat going on, just leading up to this test. And I was just sucked in, and the random Josh Peck there to press the button.
Yeah.
And
Why?
like just random people in this movie. Like you said, Josh Hartnett, Florence Pugh's in it only but for like a few minutes, and she's in it.
Yeah, Jason Clarke.
Jason Clarke, right. Benny Safdie, who's like
incredible,
a shocker in it.
My only ask is, why couldn't Florence Pugh and Jason Clarke switch roles? You know, I mean,
Alex Wolff was in it.
Would have been a different
movie. He was, yeah.
Could actually walk out of that movie and be like, "Wow, Matt Damon was really good in that movie."
Rami Malek's in it.
Aren't going.
Yeah, Rami Malek is in it.
And he was a pivotal part.
Jack Quaid from The Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of actors. And actresses in this film.
Nate, I actually match your 5 out of 5. I gave it a 5 out of 5 as well. I just was so blown away by it. I walked out of the theater just knowing that I had just witnessed something really, really special. So I really liked it. Borderline loved it. But like I said, I mean, I don't know how this is going to play on a rewatch, especially at home. But we'll see.
I would see it again.
I think it's one of Nolan's best movies for sure. But not the most rewatchable one. That's still Interstellar and Inception and Dark Knight for me. But regardless, I mean, he is just one of the best filmmakers we have today. It's just he's the best. He's Nolan. Come on,
one of the best ever.
Fuck you.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think he's in like the top 10 ever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Nolan
I'd say top 5.
Oh man, Nolan
like and
Denis Villeneuve are my top directors right now. Just every movie they come out with, it's like that was incredible.
Yeah.
You know.
But I mean, moving on to another director just operating at the top of her game right now, Greta Gerwig, Barbie, Barbenheimer.
Who would have thought? Yeah,
I just can.
Exactly. Yeah. Because, yeah, we touched upon it a little bit at the beginning, but
like,
this movie had no reason it just didn't deserve to be as good as it was. This was just such a delight and a pleasant surprise that was just probably it's going to go down as probably one of my favorite moments in a movie theater this year. Just the crowd that was so into it. I mean, I had a great night with it as well. It was just a ton of fun. And yeah, it's Barbie.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it says, if you're watching the video, I've seen it 3 times in theaters. I saw it at Regal, I saw it at AMC, and I saw it at another one that was not an AMC or a Regal. So I got the full experience. Saw it with family, saw it with friends, and it brought everybody out. So sadly, you will have some pain in the ass theater goers as well. It's still in theaters. It's still cranking the money in. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. But the film itself is so fun. Like it was a delight to watch this movie from the opening scene to the last joke that hits you with I feel like everyone's gynecologist. That's so funny. Like it's a toy. She doesn't have a vagina. It's great. And it's like just the comedic just the angle that they went with this movie with how the Barbies think that they've made the world so good for women, and it's just the absolute opposite. And it's Ryan Gosling realizing that he thinks horses rule the world. It's like, what in the hell? It's the perspective watching this film and our world through these characters' eyes is just hysterical. And it still has those heartwarming, like beautiful scenes that make you want to sob as well, with an incredible score. So it's like it has so many elements going for it, and it certainly checks all of mainstream boys boxes.
I thought it was going to be more of a musical.
It had a very musical scene. I'm just Ken.
Yeah, but other than that,
moments, that's really it. No.
Yeah, because when I was going into it, I was thinking, oh, this is like a big musical type of thing. Like there was going to be a bunch of numbers, and there really wasn't when they brought in like America Ferrera and brought in that whole storyline of like why this is all happening.
Depressed Barbie. Yeah,
exactly. But I love weird Barbie, and for some reason, Marge is my favorite character.
I thought we discontinued her.
Oh God, Marge. Oh yeah,
Alan.
She's there waving. Yeah, Alan. Yeah,
go to sleep. Go to sleep. Choking at the guys. Oh God.
But it was very fun, just very light. I thought it was a little too much on the nose sometimes as far as like the Barbie stuff, but what do you expect? It's a movie called Barbie about Barbies. But just when Margot Robbie goes out into the real world and how they get there is the best part. Oh, just go put on some roller skates, go left, and just go until you get there. And they go through the same like studio, like the lot, different scenes, and
you have to watch Film Theory's video on that, and where he was able to pinpoint where Barbie Land is in the real world based on the roller skating in the camper van and the snowmobile. He goes through all the places where he's like, this is how they got there. It's fucking ridiculous. It's so funny though. Like, Ken always has his roller skates.
And they're like perfectly matched to the original roller skates that came with them. Like they were yellow with the red wheels. He's just like, oh yeah, I always carry these with me. And I laughed really hard when she's just driving the car and then he pops out of the back. I was like, oh Jesus. Oh, okay. There's Ken. All right. I guess you're coming along. But he goes off on his whole tangent, or he's just walking around and people are looking at him. He's like, God, I like this. Like, I like
the lady
what's going
asked
on
me
here.
for the time today.
The time.
She noticed me.
She knew I was there.
No way.
They're saying that Ryan Gosling is going to get a Best Supporting Actor nomination.
I don't think he'll win, but like it's so deserved.
But I think he's going to get a nomination. I mean, he brought it. Like first, he channeled something for this performance, and he nailed it. I love when Ryan Gosling does comedy. I mean, just with The Nice Guys, he was so funny in that movie, and just all the stuff he does on SNL. I mean, they're highlights that have millions of views because it's just so funny. He has really good comedic timing, and I think just the pairing with him and Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig as well, and Noah Baumbach as the writer of this film. I mean, that was a very interesting choice. And with that, I mean, we get some moments of very genuine, like heartwarming stuff towards like the end of the film. And even in the middle, there's a moment too, where it's just like, I did not expect this from a Barbie movie. Like, am I tearing up right now? Like, this is not what I was expecting, but they handled it very, very well. And this movie could have been just a massive misfire and just not work whatsoever, but they nailed it. It was a diamond in the rough, and I think they did everything they possibly could to make this one of the most entertaining movies of the year. So I give it a 4.5 out of 5. I had a great time with this.
Talking about those heartwarming scenes, I'll wrap it up here, but the scene at the bus stop where she's kind of just sitting there, the rose-colored glasses start coming off a little bit, and she's able to see kind of the world for what it is. Like there's a couple arguing. I mean, there's kids playing. It's like she's like, okay, this is like what the human experience is all about. And then she speaks to that old lady, and she's like, "Oh, you're beautiful." And she's like, "I know it." It's so, and when Ryan Gosling is gone from it, it's like, thank God he's out of there, so we can have like a serious moment with Margot Robbie. It's that scene is, I don't think anything could beat that scene for the rest of the year for me. I mean, I think it's just perfect. So, and honestly, I think this film is pretty much perfect too. I'm going 5 out of 5 for Barbie. It's
sublime.
it is sublime.
Is that your
that means perfect?
Is that your word
Perfection.
now?
No, that's what Ken does in the movie. You've seen it 3 times. You don't remember that? Remember, he's at the saloon and Margot Robbie's like, I think I do want to like I don't know, rekindle a relationship, and like he walks around the corner and he's just sublime, and he just walks back. Okay, cool.
Oh, is that what he says?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know. I never made out the word, but yeah, that's
okay.
It is sublime. Yeah, there you go.
It's such a funny moment.
It's great.
It's like my favorite moment of the movie. It just went over your head. That's
sublime. It did 3 times apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Nate, final thoughts on Barbie?
Awesome. I was so glad I was able to finally get to see it in the theaters. I don't think you can really watch it any other way and have as great an impact it does. Didn't like it as much as Oppenheimer, I will say.
That's allowed. That's allowed.
And like some of the on the nose stuff, I was just kind of like, okay, I get it. It's Barbie. Cool. But just the perfect casting. And then like Kate McKinnon as Weird Barbie was like my favorite. She just pops out of nowhere. It's like, oh, hello. Yeah, you got the cellulite too. Oh, yep, that's what happens. Yep. Like the inner dread on wanting to die and cellulite. How much real can you get? But for me, it was a 4 out of 5. I had a lot of fun with it. It wasn't the greatest movie I've ever seen, but I'm so pumped that it's getting the following that it has, and it's just working, and it deserves all the praise in the world that it's able to bring all these walks of life together over one universal IP. Like, I never played with Barbies, but I knew what Barbies were. And so you hear the name Barbie, this movie will connect to you.
I will say I stopped buying Funko Pops until this movie came out. And Barbie and Ken, they're on the way. My mom already, she bought them, not me. Well, I bought the Funko Pops, but she bought the Barbies, which I guarantee you go online now, they're worth over $100 a piece. I got them in my closet.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's so ridiculous.
I'm good to go. Mattel? Is that the
Mattel?
Whatever.
I've never played with Barbies, clearly, or Hot Wheels.
Mattel, yeah, they're just having a field day right now with the success of this movie, and they greenlit like 36 other projects. So get ready for more Mattel films.
Also, Will Ferrell was great. I mean, he plays himself, but he is the perfect CEO of Mattel. Like, come on.
I laughed out loud at a couple of moments with him, and I was not expecting that. I mean, I even liked one moment where they were all like running on the beach during the war, and then like one of his guys like gets shot. He's like, "Ow! Did I just get shot?
Is that a gun?
Is that a gun? They have weapons here."
So yeah, just another element of the movie that's like that was perfect. Just
I'm gonna beat you off. No, I'm gonna beat you off. I was
beat
like,
all you off.
Okay,
I'm gonna beat
all right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
Barbie. Very
Barbie. Shrimp on the Barbie.
Shrimp on the Barbie. And moving on to our last new release film of this episode. It's the Rocka Rocka twins. Talk to me.
Oh, this movie. This freaking movie.
I don't even know Nate's thoughts of this movie. I know he went and saw it on Wednesday. So this is the first time we're going to be hearing what you think of this movie. I was trying to encourage you to go see it. Glad you did. I was super pumped to go and see this movie. When I found out that the Rocka Rocka guys had a movie premiere at Sundance back in January, I was instantly like, okay, top of my list. Can't wait to see it. This is whatever they're doing. I can't wait because, I mean, I watched their videos all the time back in the day. I mean, their videos were so over the top and crazy. And I've always said, and even in the comments section, I'm just like, they got to make a movie someday. I mean, they're going to kill it. And so when I heard they're making a horror movie, I was like, okay, they're going to make this crazy, over the top, disgusting, violent horror film. I can't wait for it. And then when the reactions happened at Sundance, that it was amazing. It got picked up by A24, and then they got a wide release the week after Barbenheimer. So it was in a prime spot, and it's going to launch these two twins to become the next big thing in filmmaking, I think, because Talk to Me was by far my favorite horror movie I've seen this year, and it probably will be my favorite horror movie all year, because this just got under my skin in ways other movies haven't in a while. And I love it, kind of similar to like Jordan Peele's Nope, where like the obsession about like spectacle is kind of paralleled with this movie too, with the party game behind the demonic hand, because like that's the whole premise of the movie is they touch this hand, they say talk to me, and then it summons an evil spirit, and they have 90 seconds or else the evil spirit will latch onto them for I don't know forever or something and possess them, and it becomes a party game. And that is so true with what would happen in today's age with this other generation and everything, and what we would do probably accurate. I mean, we played fucking Ouija boards and everything, and who knows what happens there, but like yeah, I mean, this is if there was a hand that existed like this, people would be doing it like crazy. It'd be viral TikTok videos all over the place. It'd be like a viral drug, the way it's kind of depicted in this movie. And it just surprised me so much, mainly by the story chops and the emotional story with the lead of the character, the lead actress of the movie. I forget her name. I know her name's like Sophia Wilde, the actress, but the character name I'm blanking on.
Oh, okay. Ari.
It's
no, it's Sophia Wilde is the actress, but she was incredible. I mean, she led the movie. She was the heart and soul. Mia, yes,
Mia's her name.
Right.
The scares were just next level. So I was thoroughly entertained and borderline loved this movie. But I'm a little biased because I kind of love these guys as well. But Nate, first time.
Oh,
watching this movie. Let me know.
I've loved Raka Raka for years. Like their Ronald McDonald videos where they just walk into Burger King and demand McNuggets and then get really pissed at them. Or my favorite one is Avengers versus DC, where they're just flying about and Hulk is smashing everything in that house. Like I feel so bad for that landlord because they just destroyed that house. But this movie is freaky. It connects with something, and Spencer said it 100% accurately. This is something that people would do nowadays. Like instead of focusing on like the demons itself, it focuses on what these people like. They're basically taking the piss out of it, like not taking it seriously. They're like, oh, it's just a joke, it's all fake and whatnot, until a 12-year-old does it. And then it's like, oh shit, what's going on here? But it took turns. It did things, and it did something that a lot of horror movies don't necessarily do, and it didn't really leave it on a good note. It was just kind of, it gets to its height, and then it ends. And I'm just like, and there was a moment in this movie that my jaw dropped.
Yeah,
where I should have seen it coming, but I didn't. And the way it was just structured, was it? I
don't really want to get into spoilers necessarily, but was it like the midpoint mic drop scene with the brother?
It's like the Hereditary scene. Almost.
No. It involves the father.
Oh yeah. Okay. That was kind of a surprise.
Yeah, that was surprising too.
There was things happening that I was like, is this happening in real life? Is this in her mind? There was some creepy things with like feet sucking that had no reason being as creepy as it was, because the way her eyes were, it was just like,
I just got chills. Like in the corner of the room, like that overweight, like greasy, wet lady just like crawling towards her when she's in bed. Oh, that was so disgusting.
But someone like Spencer sent me a video of them behind the scenes, like going to Sundance and stuff that when they first got the news. And someone said this, and it didn't click until he said it. They could have had a jump scare every couple minutes, but they didn't. They let it be ominous, and they let the characters react somewhat naturally to it, where they're like, oh, what's really going on here? And yeah, they just, for a directorial debut, that's as good as you can get, especially with these two younger guys. They're brothers, and they have such talent. And like you said, I'll back whatever they do from here on. I will buy this. It's an A24 film. This is a day one purchase. And what'd you say, Sophia Wilde?
Yeah,
she's gonna blow up.
The actress. Yeah,
she's gonna blow up. Like,
yeah. This was it's a pretty wild movie. I mean, I've seen the trailers. I saw the trailer with the hand like 15 times because I've been to the theater upwards of 40 times this year. It played over the last couple months. Every single showtime I went to, it was playing. So it looked freaky from the very beginning. I didn't know that it was by the Raka Raka twins until probably the week of. I was like, oh, I remember those guys. Like, those guys are those guys made some crazy videos back in the day. I remember being blown away by like the special effects. I was like, how are they doing this on their like shitty computer? Like, how could I do? I don't know how they made that happen back in the day. But yeah, no, I mean that goes to show. But then they come out and make this crazy, unsettling, tension-filled, slimy, grimy horror movie with this concept that it's just kind of like a whole refreshing take on possession. You know, like you see all these possession movies and you're in a church, you're at the Vatican, blah, 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 blah. But in this case, you just have these, I don't know, Australian kids trying to impress their friends. I think it's in a sense relatable. Like you do have those same kind of tropes of like these kids are idiots. Why are they making these dumb decisions? You know, like they keep doing it no matter what, even though they see how bad it gets. Like, shouldn't they be terrified right now seeing what's happening? Yet they keep doing it for some reason. And there was a scene that it was a Hereditary moment for me with that kid just banging.
Yeah, even in the hospital afterwards too.
The shot of it was like the Elephant Man or something. It was insane.
And it didn't get me until he started hitting the back of his head against the wall. Because like the face, you see that in movies a lot, but then when you're going from the backside, that's like, okay, something is definitely fucked up and he's smiling.
Yeah.
So it had that little bit of smile in it where you see this possessed thing, but it doesn't care. It's just doing everything. It's just he's a puppet. But then when they show what's really happening to him in that like quick sequence,
dude.
I was
horrifying.
getting goosebumps because I was like,
yeah,
that's what hell looks like.
Seriously.
Talk about it kind of
Sorry, but like the lead up to that scene too of like when they're like, we got to find out where he is, and she grabs the hands and says, talk to me, and that little girl just like is sitting on the bed and she's like, I can show you where he is. Oh fuck! And then you see the scene. Oh my god, it's so disturbing. It's so disturbing, but yeah, they nailed it. You were gonna say?
No, I was saying in reference to that scene, it reminds me of the scene in Nope when everyone's just getting eaten because he's almost just being engulfed by these these demons. I mean, it is so claustrophobic feeling. It was like kind of like Insidious too. Like he's stuck in this realm where he can't get out. You know,
and he's a kid.
He's a kid,
like 11, 12 years old. That's what makes it worse because he's been the most innocent kid through this whole movie. Him and Mia, I love their friendship. I even like the little love triangle between the main character and like her best friend and the boyfriend and stuff because you could feel that little bit of tension just in between them. So you knew all these friendships are kind of on strings, on thin ice. And whatever happens, it's going to be bad. And just the way they round this movie off, and I realized what was going on, and then the final, I let you in, I was like, oh, shit. I am here for the Racka Brothers. Like, I'm down. Like, I don't necessarily think, I know, Spencer, you said there was going to be a sequel already greenlit.
Yep.
This is one of those moments where I feel like,
doesn't need it.
No, just let it. Because I want when they whatever a replica of this hand comes out, I'm getting one. Like I will have that in my room.
A24 already teased it, so it's coming. So
you know what?
You will be able to grab it. Yeah.
It doesn't need a sequel. It could use a prequel because you know
whose hand is it?
Right, like that's where I could see it going. Is like, where did this thing come from? Like, what are the origins? Rather than like, oh, just another group of kids stumbled upon it and we do the same thing. I feel like they'd be more creative than that. But by sequel, I think prequel would make more sense.
As long as the Racka brothers are behind it, I think it's going to be incredible no matter what. And it's just a platform that's uniquely theirs that they get to now have complete creative control over and more budget and just like a sandbox to go and create more stories here. Because my only gripe with this movie was I couldn't help but think of all the other kind of not even missed opportunities, but just other opportunities you could do with this premise. I mean, there's so much you could do here. And I loved how they introduced it here with this first movie, Talk to Me. And now for the sequel, Talk to Me.
Of course.
For sure. I mean, you could go both ways. I mean, they said they already have a prequel shot, like maybe like a short film
It wouldn't
like
surprise me.
They said they've already shot it and like it's in the can. But so who knows? Maybe the sequel could be kind of like a mix of like a prequel, some more development of like where the hand came from, or just like trying
something
to
completely
destroy
different,
it,
maybe.
or something, or another group of characters, or the sister and the brother, recovering after Mia, whatever. So I don't know. I don't want to get into spoilers, but there's a lot you could do here. I mean, it's a great premise, and it's an original idea, and they killed it for a directorial debut. So this is a great horror film.
What'd you end up giving this one?
Initially I walked out with a 4 out of 5, but I mean this could go up to a 4.5. I think I definitely am gonna get it when it comes out on Blu-ray. Hopefully it will be released in time for Spooktober, because I would love to revisit it around that time. So I gave it a 4 out of 5, but potential to go up for sure. I'm glad that it is gonna have more movies, but as long as they're behind it.
Yeah, I don't see why it's not like James Wan where like who knows, like maybe I think they have to do a few more projects before a studio was like, okay, we want you guys to do this, like do this big movie for us, and then like.
Well, they got Street Fighter. They're gonna do a video game adaptation of Street Fighter at some point, which is perfect for their style.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. That's crazy. That's literally what they do anyway.
Perfect for them.
Like an Edgar Wright type of like Scott Pilgrim looking thing, but they're
at some point that is gonna come by them. Which is
that's insane. I love that.
And the biggest tool that they have is that they're just twins. They just have this constant time to just bounce off each other and just, what would make that better? And then it's just going to be an accumulation of these two talented guys that just have so much in their resume just before movies. Like I look at some of their older YouTube videos and I'm like, some of these effects look a lot better. And the way that they can shoot action and make like the sets practical and everything, and they're both stunt people, so like they
can't help themselves to this day too. They just made a video that came out like a week ago saying like, we premiered a film worldwide, talk to me. And within the first 2 minutes of that video, they have a random action scene that they just threw into the video where they have to go get a hard drive that has a copy of the movie at some junkyard. These guys are like, no, you can't take it. And just a fucking massive brawl breaks out. That's so over the top and brutal. Some of the best action I've seen all year in terms of movies. Like it was like
John Wick action.
Yeah, it was perfect. And it was just them trying to get a hard drive so they could go back and promote their movie. And
I love it.
They're just so creative and fun. They're young. They're 30. I mean, they're on their way to make these great movies for us.
I'd love to meet them.
Enjoy. So
they would be such cool
He was
people.
just on Chris Stuckman's podcast this morning. I listened to it on a walk with Winston, and Chris Stuckman and I think it was Michael. They just had a discussion on how the movie got made and everything. And Chris has his movie in post-production, Shelby Oaks. So I mean, it's exciting. I'm excited to see like fans or just filmmaker fan or people fans of filmmaking go on and become filmmakers themselves. That's what I'm trying to say here. I'm excited for that, and yeah, I'm always going to support it.
No, we are those movie dudes. So is it not?
John's having some technical difficulties, but John, what did you give this movie?
Yeah, no, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It was freaky, it was scary, it made me uncomfortable. And I kind of echo your points of like I love to see these guys kind of crawl their way up and make a movie. I think that's just an awesome accomplishment. And just seeing, I saw the same video you sent me, Spencer, of them at Sundance, just seeing how much fun, how thankful they were to get like the people in their life. I think it was like their former like nanny or something involved.
Oh, she raised them for like
a caretaker
years.
Or something.
Yeah.
And just having her at the premiere, it's like they hadn't seen her in 10 years. It's like, oh, this is so heartwarming to see these guys, and their energy is just through the roof. So I can't wait to see what they do next. I'm sure being on set with them was just a ball. It was really fun.
They're over the top. Yeah, they're eccentric.
Yeah, they're crazy. They're Australian, crazy Australian guys. Like, so I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I really liked it. My one nitpick was I just think that the characters kept doing the same stupid decisions, like especially the kind of
made them
douchey
I get it,
guys, like the ones who kind of lured them into the whole thing to begin with. Didn't really like those characters. So that got to me and just kind of took me out of it a little bit and made it feel like every other horror movie at times. But other than that, I thought it was fantastic. So
I love that they included the authentic Australian accents because you don't really see that in a mainstream movie that gets wide release. And at times, like I had no idea what they said. At times, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna have to wait for the Blu-ray track so I can watch subtitles. So,
yeah.
But it added to the experience. I enjoyed it. It just seemed like they were just real people, like in a real situation of what people would do in this situation. So,
and having none of the actors known at all also helps. It's like, wow, these are people.
Yeah.
These are
all
dudes,
unknowns,
women, like whatever.
Miranda Otto. I mean, she's been in Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. But
she was in Annabelle Creation. She was the mom in that, and that's where I recognized her. I was like, why do I recognize her face? But then, she's awesome too.
Awesome.
But,
yeah. Well, I guess we have another segment after this. Believe it or not.
Yeah,
I didn't give my grade.
Oh, so sorry, Nate. What is your grade for this?
It's film? Okay. It's okay. It's just a measly little, 4.5 out of 5. It's just
wow.
Okay.
This is the horror that I'm looking for. Like, you guys know me. I like classic horror, all this stuff, but this is like has everything. It's like new age, new scares, unique takes on old stereotypes like possession, and it's just baffling. And they don't have to explain this hand. They don't have to like give it a backstory. They're just like, this is where it came from. This is how we got it. And then just seeing the videos of their eyes all in black, and the main character when her head's tilted to the side and she's like almost like snapping at him. Yeah. I'm like, this is freaking terrifying.
Well, and like that opening 1 or 2 of like the guy entering the party trying to find the friend, and then it all leads to what ends up happening. Like that was just fucking okay. This is the movie we're getting. Let's go. Yeah. All right.
I had forgotten about that opening scene. That scene was
all in one take. Yeah,
gets you right into it. That's for sure.
That's so impressive though. Cool. Like that these guys can just go into something like this, be like, all right, the first opening shot of the movie, 1 take. All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
And
that's probably not the first thing they shot, but I mean,
oh no, God no.
Could have fooled me.
To open the movie with such a unique shot, like it reminds me of Halloween a little bit. Just opens with this just unbroken shot. But this is the horror I'm backing, and these are 2 directors that I will dish out money and I will drive any amount of miles to see what they make next, and maybe even to see this again.
Yeah, maybe. I thought that that opening shot was definitely better than the one in Wild Things. You know what I'm talking about? That opening shot where they bring the camera behind this guy with a blue shirt, and then it's kind of like a scuffed cut, and then it's still a different blue shirt, and then they go into kind of the center, whatever, the concert area where Matt Dillon's there talking about sex crimes.
Oh, so do you have some trivia for us?
Okay, whatever. All right, I got some trivia for you guys. I've been working on this for a while. I don't think it's perfected yet, but it's time for mainstream boy trivia.
You couldn't even spell mainstream right.
It's time for the answers to know this fact. For the questions I'm about to ask, like
what is the capital of Bolivia? It's mainstream boy
trivia.
Do we actually know the answer to that?
What is the capital of Bolivia? I have no idea. I don't think we should ever look it up.
Tucson.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to look it up, but I'm going to go with what Nate said.
I just made up a word.
Probably right. Who knows? But this is mainstream boy trivia, everybody.
This is mainstream trivia.
It is, but if you win the game of trivia, you will be mainstream boy of the day. So you will be mainstream boy.
But I'm facing Spencer, so like he's gonna be mainstream boy.
well, no, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But
I'm already nervous.
This is the mainstream boy trivia experience. I like when there's, I have no pressure on me. I just had I throw the questions at you, and then we'll just see what happens. And there's no pressure at all. But the game will consist of a variety of trivia questions derived from yours truly, mainstream boy himself. And each game will feature a new topic that each question will be in the spirit of. Spencer and Nate will buzz in, trying to correct the guest's answer. First due to 3 points wins the coveted honor of being named mainstream boy of the week.
How are we buzzing in?
Just say your name. Say Lil Debbie and then Lil Ducky. Or Nate, Spencer, Duck.
I was going to say that might be easier because Spencer could just go, Spence. I can go, Nate. Or
I would stick to one syllables instead of going like Nathan Cram.
So how about Duck and Deb?
Duck Deb. Well, that's a little similar.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say Nate.
Okay.
You could just raise your hand. I mean, I could see you.
You can say
your
Duck.
hand.
I'll say Duck.
Say Quack or
Quack.
Quack.
Yeah, Quack.
What would little Debbie say
I like
as like a
quack.
noise?
I like Quack.
Come try my
quack.
snack cakes.
For sure, Quack.
I'm a little Debbie snap cake. I can tell the difference between a baked potato and a little Debbie snack cake.
I can tell the difference between a little Debbie snack cake and a twice baked potato.
That could be your buzz in. Just say that.
Ooh, that's a hot little snack cake.
Oh my god, we're gonna have to get these clips rolled up so these references actually make sense. It doesn't matter.
No, it's cool.
Here's a few questions just to give you kind of an idea of what they might be like in the game. They're not necessarily going to be these for this particular game, but anyway, guess the film, movie quotes, film dates, mainstream movies only, which basically means you're going to have to answer a variety of questions that are only related to some of my favorite films. It could be Pitch Perfect. It could
National
be
Treasure 2.
Could be National Treasure. Who knows? It's really hard to
Green
say.
Room.
Oh, that's a good one. Maybe it's all about Green Room this week. Wouldn't that be fun?
I would leave the podcast.
You would.
I would sign right out.
Yeah, it's a question of if I want to keep my friends or not. I'm not really sure yet. Or we might do Who's That Movie Dude? Or I'll give you a few hints on who indeed is that movie dude or woman. So there we go. Okay? And we're about to find out what the theme of this week is. Any guesses?
National Treasure.
I
Nate?
was gonna say Margot Robbie.
No, that's just a random picture. This week's topic is
Kevin Bacon's penis.
everything Nicolas Cage. Okay?
Yeah.
Questions will consist of anything to do with Nicolas Cage. Basically, if it has Nicolas Cage, we're going to be talking about it. Not necessarily National Treasure.
Jesus Christ. You kidding me?
But
That's him. That's him.
that's in a nutshell. That's
you want him in your
Cage
movie
right
give him
now
$1 million.
on planet Earth. That's what he's doing currently. But are you ready?
Remember I'm gonna be. Yeah.
Remember your buzz-in words?
Duck. Quack.
You got to pick one.
Quack.
If you say the wrong one,
I'm gonna
it
go quack.
doesn't count. Quack.
Quack.
We're
Quack.
going with quack. And Spencer or Nate, you're gonna go with crack.
No, I'm just gonna go with Nate.
And it's going with Nate. Okay. Quack and Nate. Here we go. Question 1. First person to 3 points is the winner of Mainstream Boy Trivia and will be coined
Can I ask a
Mainstream Boy of the
question?
Week. Yes.
Is there any rulings on if we answer while you're still giving the question?
I would prefer if you wait till I finish reading it, even though you can read it, just for the sake of fairness. Just wait until I finish reading it before you say anything, if that's okay.
Fine.
Okay.
I'm so
Okay.
nervous.
We don't want any fights to break out here.
Oh, like
Here
we
we
can
go.
do anything about it.
Question 1. In National Treasure, what is the name of the warship where they found the first clue?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Oh, fuck. Well,
USS Treasure.
come on, guys.
Nate.
Come on.
I've seen
Nate.
this movie. I haven't seen it in like
Nate.
10 years.
The USS Indianapolis.
That is incorrect. I'm going to give you a hint. You and be ready to buzz in fast, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Brad's girlfriend.
Nate.
Nate?
Charlotte.
That is correct.
The Secret Lives of Charlotte.
I just think it's weird that I remembered her name was Charlotte.
The Secret Lives of Charlotte.
And we have that forever now.
All
We
right.
have that forever. All right. So 1-0, Nate. Good job, Nate. Proud of you. It's the Charlotte. It's the very opening scene.
I was
where
confused
they're-
though because I'm like,
I'm
which
so
Brad?
confused. I was like, who's Brandon's girlfriend? But whatever.
Exactly. That's why.
That's why it's confusing. That's why it's confusing, Spencer. Yeah.
Oh, you said Brad? Sorry. Okay. They said Brandon. All right.
No, it's fine. I know it's confusing. Two very similar names.
Brandon?
Question 2. Nate leading 1-0 on Mainstream Boys Trivia. Here we go. I have no idea if you're going to get this. Nick Cage is famous for winning Best Actor for the film Leaving Las Vegas, but what other film does Cage star alongside Sarah Jessica Parker that also takes place in the Sin City?
Are you saying another movie he was in? Because Sarah Jessica Parker wasn't in Leaving Las Vegas.
No. It's another film that takes place in Las Vegas. That she is in with Nicolas Cage.
God.
Just knowing how many things you guys know about movies, I can't make it that easy. This is probably the hardest question on here.
Specific stuff like this, yeah, I don't know.
Whoever gets the closest, just I want to try to give a point for whoever gets closest.
Nate.
Fuck.
Nate.
Is it Bad Lieutenant?
Is incorrect.
Quack.
Spencer.
Is it The Family Man?
That's incorrect. That's a good guess, but it's not right. I don't think you guys are going to get this one, so I'm going to go ahead and reveal the answer.
It was Honeymoon in Vegas.
Yeah, Honeymoon in Vegas.
Never heard of it.
Jimmy Caan, bro.
We should watch it. Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Look at all the Elvises behind them.
Very deep cut.
Very deep cut, yeah. Okay, that's okay. Honeymoon in Vegas, just so you guys know. Maybe check it out with Sarah Jessica Parker. Question 3, Nate leading 1-0 on Mainstream Boy Trivia. Here we go. Cage is featured as a guinea pig in the 2009 action-adventure film G-Force. But what is the name of his rodent persona? Is it Shoelace, Sparkles, Sprinkles, or Speckles?
What the fuck is G-Force?
It's the movie about guinea pigs. Spy guinea pig. Nate.
Speckles.
That is correct. It is Speckles.
That was a guess. I've never seen the movie.
Yeah, who's fucking seen G-Force?
Come on, you don't know?
Yeah, this is definitely mainstream movies.
Yeah, I mean, come on. When you think about Nicolas Cage, you're thinking about G-Force.
G-Force, yeah. No, I'm good. No.
I'm
not at all.
Look, I'll be Speckles for the rest of the show. Now I'm Nicolas Cage from G-Force. This is me cosplaying.
Actually, John, you need blackened sunglasses, so I think I'm Speckles.
Spencer, do you want to try to be Speckles, or are we going to move on?
I don't know what we signed up for. Okay, yeah, let's just keep going.
All right, Nate leading
this is the last episode.
2-0. No, you're getting them right. So I mean, here we are.
Well, yeah, but that one had multiple choice. It was.
You can't make it too hard. Question 4. Nate leading 2-0. In National Treasure 2, Book of Secrets, what historical location does Ben Gates kidnap the President of the United States?
Quack.
Oh,
I didn't realize there was...
Is it? That's okay. Is it the Arlington House, Mount Rushmore, Mount Vernon, or Fort Washington?
Quack. Fort Washington.
That is incorrect.
Quack. Nate.
They
capture him at Mount Vernon.
That is correct. Wait, you just won? Just like that. All right, Nate, you just won. You just won, Nicholas.
Yay. I get to be mainstream trivia. Boy.
You're mainstream boy.
So I'm just gonna drink Trulies and go cook with my mother.
Yeah, and that'll lead you to another clue.
What? That'll lead you to another clue. Okay.
That'll lead you to another.
Secret Lives with Charlotte.
So we have a few.
We're one step closer to the treasure, gentlemen.
The next one. Don't play the next one. Because we got to get to that question. All right.
There's more. Nate just won.
Nate won, but just for fun, we'll fire through them just for the hell of it. Question 5. Which one of these is not a generic cash grab film that Nick Cage did to get a paycheck?
What? This seems so biased.
Is it? Which one of these is not a generic cash grab?
This means nothing.
The runner behind bars, Seeking Justice, or Trespass? Which one of these
is directed by Joel Schumacher. So that's something. Although I heard it's terrible.
Nate, yes.
I'm gonna say it is The Runner because it's got the at the beginning, and that usually means that it's probably going to be a pretty good movie.
So it's okay. So you're saying
I'm gonna go Trespass.
Those are both incorrect. It is Behind Bars.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Did I do it? Yeah, no, it's Behind Bars, guys. That's not a real movie. This is actually a picture of Nicolas Cage in Con Air. So, oh no, The Rock. That was The Rock. Question number 6. Question number 6. Which one of these is not a top 5 grossing Nicolas Cage film? The Rock, Face Off, Con Air, or National Treasure?
Nate.
Quack. Oh, okay.
Oh, Nate?
Con Air.
Spencer, do you have a guess?
The Rock.
The answer is Con Air.
Well, because it's Michael Mann, so I figured that would at least be a
Simon
pretty
West.
high grossing. Huh?
That's Aaron Rodgers.
That's Aaron Rodgers.
Well, yeah, but the guy who directed Con Air, his name is Simon West.
If
I
we were
was
playing the
thinking The
director
Rock.
game, then you'd be doing really good right now.
Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes, that's what I
Con
meant.
Air's correct. Con Air's
I can do
correct.
directors. I mean, give me directors. I can do this all day.
Maybe next week. Maybe next week
No,
we'll do
fuck
directors.
you.
So Nate's pretty much blown you out of the water, but that's okay. You still have your pride. Question 7.
Not really.
In 2012, in the 2012 film Stolen, who plays Nicolas Cage's daughter?
The
Is
fuck
it
is Stolen?
I've never heard of like any of these movies, and one of them wasn't a movie. It was just him behind bars.
Well, no, that
Are
was
these
from a
like the
movie.
fucking direct to VOD Nick Cage movies that he was doing to pay off like debt or something?
Yeah, no, he just does anything
Nate.
except National Treasure 3. Yes.
Rachel Bilson.
Oh, the options were Rachel Bilson, Kirsten Dunst, Christian Bell, or Malin Ackerman. Rachel Bilson
Quack.
is
I'm gonna go Malin Ackerman.
Malin
Fucking
Ackerman
go.
is correct.
Quack quack, motherfucker. All right.
There
Well,
you
because
go.
Kristen Bell and Kirsten Dunst, they would have been in their 30s, 40s.
At
So
one point at least.
Rachel Bilson wouldn't be in her 40s. Wait, no.
I mean, there was a time when they were really trying to make Malin Ackerman happen, but yeah.
And this was that time. So Nicolas Cage was also in a film with Amber Heard at one point.
yeah, he was Drive Angry.
Drive Angry, yeah. That would have been too easy though. Here we go.
Drive
Question
Angry
8.
3D.
Just for shits and gigs. Here we go. Question 8.
Ghost Rider.
How many movies has Nicolas Cage released to date? Whoever gets the closest without going over will receive a point.
130.
Where
All right,
he's
so
the star?
That's just how many movies he's
Or
been
just
in.
that he's been in? Okay.
He's been in, yeah. Someone's just going to 130.
Hmm.
Closest without
I'm-
going over.
I am going to go with 97.
It's got to be over 100.
It's 109.
109.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies. Speaking of cash grabs and straight to DVD movies. Question number 9. In National Treasure, what does Patrick Gates suggest Ben, Riley, and Abigail do to reveal the map on the back of the Declaration of Independence?
Lemon juice.
That's part of the scene.
Is it? That's all I remember.
It is. That's what they're doing. They're putting lemon juice on it, and then Patrick Gates comes over and he's like,
Throw it in the oven, and that'll lead you to another clue.
"What's
Throw
this?"
it in the oven. Throw it in the oven.
Why?
Throw it in the oven.
Because
Nate.
it needs heat.
Oh yeah. Hair
Don't they use
dryer.
hair dryers? Yeah.
They use a hair dryer. They're like, "No, we can't put it in the oven," and then they get a hair dryer, and then Nicolas
Throw it in
Cage.
the oven.
Throw
We're
it-
one step closer to the treasure, gentlemen.
Okay, all right, we can't abuse these. Come on.
Throw it in the oven.
So then Nicolas Cage and Diane Kruger get down real low and go,
Throw it in the oven. Throw it in the oven.
Look at his face when he's saying it. His eyes are abnormally big.
Throw it in the oven.
dishes too. He's like putting
What's
his
he holding?
paper plate away from eating pizza.
Is there more? Can we be done?
We have one more after that.
Can I move on with my life here?
You're enjoying this. Come on. All right, last question. Nate has already clearly won. Here we go. Fill in the blank for the 2011 Marvel flick Ghost Rider blank.
Spirit of Vengeance.
Nate.
Spencer, that kind of was against the rules. I hadn't finished reading, and you didn't say quack.
I'm done
Nate.
with
Nate, yeah, go right ahead.
Well, you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to click that again, but yeah.
Drive Angry 3.
Correct. That's correct. Good job, guys.
Thanks.
Good job. We did it. We made it through. Nate, victory.
Put it in the oven.
Throw it in the oven.
Oh, Spencer's gonna do that just at random points.
I'm immediately gonna get rid of that clip once.
Throw it in the oven.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can finally rename it to throw it in the oven because that was the answer.
Throw it in the oven.
So yeah, that's Mainstream Boy Trivia. If you hate it, I'm sorry, but it's here to stay. And that's up to me. That's my decision. But anything you guys want to say before we sign off here?
Throw it in the oven.
No. I think that's it. This was quite the experience. If you guys are enjoying watching this as a visual format, I think we can upload these on Spotify and YouTube and everything. So just let us know. Leave some comments. Let us know what you're going to be checking out in theaters the next couple of months. Go and watch. What is the movie that we agreed on? The Fury? Not the Fury. The Fury.
The Fury, yeah. It's Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf's Fury.
Go watch that on Max. Come back for the next discussion. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Quack, quack, motherfucker. And
throw it in the oven.
Anything for you, little Deb?
Just follow us wherever. Anything helps, even if it's just to like criticize us. That's cool. But yeah, no, we're those movie dudes. We're here to stay. We're here to make your day and maybe open you up to some new movies.
Like
throw it in the oven.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, we really appreciate it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit the notification button so you never miss an episode. Hit the follow button if you're on a podcast platform. That way you never miss an episode. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Instagram at ThoseMovieDudes. Leave us a Joe. And just watch some movies. All right?
Throw it in the oven.
We'll see you next time.